Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, fans and Hoodats from all over the world. I'm Kyle T. Mosley here with Bob Rose of Bayou Blitz. What's going on, Bob?
Not much, Mr. Mosley. I think we have a very exciting and I know it's going to be an informative show tonight. The Saints fans, back off of that Crescent City connection a little bit. It ain't all bad. Our team is going to be just fine. But anyway, we want to welcome all of you viewers, tuning in on this special Friday night broadcast. I hope everybody is doing well. This is just the tip of the iceberg as far as the off season goes. So we got a long way to go, but we're going to have fun tonight. Let's have fun through the whole process.
Definitely, man. Look, we got a special guest. We got a Saints legend in the house with us. None other than Mr. Willie Whitehead. What's going on, Willie?
How you doing, Kyle? How you doing? Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man.
Man, thank you so much, man. I was reading up on you. I need to learn some of that healing techniques and stuff too, man. So we got to talk a little bit about that, But guys, we got a good show. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to divulge and chomp on, But Bob, take it away. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening with Marshon Lattimore, what we know so far.
Well, and our story, or the story was published by our very own John Hendrix in the wee hours of the morning. Evidently, Marshon Lattimore, of course, Saints starting cornerback, got arrested yesterday evening close to his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. The charges are, I believe, a 4th-degree felony, possession of a stolen firearm. Marshon was in the car apparently with one or two of his friends. I don't know off the top of my head currently if he is released on bond yet. But the official charge is possession of a stolen firearm, which is on record as a 4th-degree felony. That's what we know right now. I don't know what else Kyle. I know we were still getting news just before we came on air, but that's where we stand right now.
Yeah, the Cuyahoga County courts and the police court, he went in, he got the bond. It was set at $5,000. They had the hearing this morning. He did bond out, so good for him. But the problem is that the car he was in, 2 individuals were prior felons and were handling firearms. Mm-hmm. And the problem also is that the possession of the firearm that he had was reported stolen by the Euclid, Ohio, police department or somebody in that area. So we don't know what's going to happen. These type of situations are very sensitive. We're going to have more information coming to you guys shortly, and as they come in from us. But what makes this a precarious situation is the fact that he's at the final year of his rookie deal. He's owed, $10 million this season. The Saints are still fighting to be able to maintain their position under the cap. He was a candidate for restructuring, extending his deal with the Saints. Of course, he's a fabulous player. One of the best cornerbacks in the National Football League. What's going to happen next is going to be up to the New Orleans Saints front office, as well as what's going to happen in the court systems. That's pretty much out of everybody's hands at this time.
Yeah, and Willie, and if you're just tuning in, folks, Kyle and I are joined by former Saints great defensive lineman Willie Whitehead. Willie, I'd like to start with you. As a teammate, as a player, when a teammate gets in trouble, especially in trouble with the law, how is that initially taken in, throughout the locker room? And again, like Kyle said, there's still a lot of details to be had, but obviously, at the very least, the young man was in the wrong place, wrong time. Something that your coaches, our parents, all taught us, from when we were little. So, how would you, as his teammate, take that?
Well, from what I know from the years I played, we've always supported each other. no matter what, and to just, not judging each other, but rallying around each other. And that's really what Marshon, needs right now. This, like you said, this is a sensitive situation, and really he just needs the support. And what I tell, and I've told a lot of guys, even as a veteran when I was playing for the Saints, and guys are coming in, and just in general, it's just you got to be very careful. Who you're around, because you're a brand, especially Marshon and his status and his position, man, like guys that that you're familiar with, that you grew up with, man, you got to know, what's going on with them. They're driving you. You got to know. It's a lot of little things that you just got to be really careful. Everything is really got to be, it's got to be straight laced, because you got to think like you have to protect the brand of you at all costs,
Right.
at the end of the day. So, that regardless of, if you got to, you keeping it real, and it's protecting the brand at all costs. So,
yeah. Look, we all have been there. I know I've done knucklehead things when I was young, man. And
I did knucklehead things yesterday, guys. Not quite to that extent, but
let's keep that down there, Bob. But look, man, the one thing my dad used to always tell me, he was a juvenile probation officer. So he made it pretty clear not to do certain things, right? But I like the fact that you said we got to support them.
yeah,
And things can get misconstrued, especially through media, the public, whatever. And I just hope this is a situation where he's able to come through it and learn from the situation. Like you said, Willie, your brand. Keep your brand in a place where it's not tarnished, right? So
right.
That's all my thoughts right there, Bob.
No, Willie, and you've mentioned before to us that you and a lot of your teammates, especially your fellow defensive linemen, you guys were extremely close. We know that we think that this Saints team is pretty close knit too. Certainly, it's up to every player, to each their own, as far as whether they go their own way or whether they choose to hang around the facility a lot and other teammates during the off season. But you, especially as a veteran, when you would be around your other teammates and you would see a guy, especially a younger guy, maybe sort of, unraveling is way too strong a term, but maybe putting himself in that kind of position or a potentially harmful position, would you guys be pretty quick to step in and try to set him straight?
Yes, definitely. Some of the guys, in that position would definitely step in to try to set the guys straight, because they just need to understand, and we've been there. And some of the guys have really been there, or they've seen it. In some instances growing up, and they understand how things can turn bad real fast. And the guys not being aware of it, but when you're in a certain position, you're a target, and so you have to really. It's different from other guys that are out here. Like, you really have to be careful because the spotlight is on you, so eyes are looking at you. So you have to be careful, and it's it's not easy. You have to be careful of who you're around, who you associate with, the things that you do, how you respond to different people's situations. I know I was playing. I always had the mindset of, man, look, I'm gonna walk away. Like, I was always thinking that, like, they may be trying to set me up. A guy try to pick a fight just so he can sue me. For me to try to punch back, and then when the news comes out, it's Willie Whitehead, got in a fight and punched this guy. He's like, oh, I'm suing. You know, it's easy to get caught up with with women. It's easy to get caught up because you're a target. So you just really, it's easy just to walk away. And at times, I mean, that's the best thing. Easy just to walk away, to let it go. And, you know, because you have to protect your brand. That's it. And the team too, you know, I mean, it's the integrity of the team, but yourself as well. You got to.
Yeah, and like Kyle said a few minutes ago, Marshon is in a contract year now, and with his abilities, he's really in a position to make some big money. Hopefully with the New Orleans Saints. But he's still got not only his whole NFL career ahead of him, but his whole life is ahead of him. Now, I know you have done, and I believe still continue to do, a lot of motivational speaking. Do you keep in touch or reach out to young players coming into the league now? Is that kind of the scope of what you do?
Yes. Yeah, I talk with a number of guys. We have a training program, so I've been working with a number of guys that are going as early as high school. I mean, we go as young as middle school, and work with the guys and the kids and try to instill in them, you know, certain values and life, you know, life lessons, life skills. So in that, you know, going through high school to college, and just, you know, stay with them with that, you know, outside of just the skills training, but just more importantly, the values and the mentoring, because it makes a world of difference. And they, you know, because if they get into a situation, then they understand, they remember, and they understand, like, okay, you know, Mr. Whitehead said, you know, Coach Whitehead said this, so let me think about that, and let me pause and do something different. So it makes a difference.
Now, but before we delve into your career and your memories a little bit, and I can't wait to get for that. How do parents and young people, young athletes especially, how do they get in touch with you, or how do they find some of your motivational talks that are already out there?
Oh yes, well, you can go. I have a great YouTube channel. It's called Radical Expansion, or you can just type in Willie Whitehead Jr. and it'll pop up a Radical, Willie Whitehead Jr. Radical Expansion. And I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Willie Whitehead Jr. at Willie Whitehead Jr. and Facebook right now. And I'm getting my site rebranded and everything done now. But that's the best way. I have videos I post every week of inspiration. So motivational, spiritual, just to help people, help guys, help people in general live their best life. So it's not just that. I've seen a couple of your videos geared towards athletes, but not all of your talks, not all of your speeches are geared towards athletics. No. I think it relates to just anybody in general. It's focused. My audience mostly is athletes, current and former athletes, but the lessons that I teach in my videos, they relate to anybody, because there's a lot that relates from what we learn in football that can relate in the office, that can relate in everyday life, and can be applied.
No, perfect.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Thank you.
That's good stuff, man. Look, I think right now the platform, the kids need to hear people who are genuine, who's going to really inspire them, but they need to hear your story, right? How often do you get out there to be able to reach and touch those guys out in the community?
Really, as much as I can. I know it hasn't been as much now, but because of COVID and the landscape now, but it's been more virtual. But I'm starting to. I'll be starting it back up and kind of getting out more since things are starting to kind of settle down a little bit. But I'm definitely I definitely do a lot of virtual talks and different associations and programs and stuff. Yeah. But it's really important. It's really important right now, especially to keep guys encouraged, motivated to try to adjust to what's going on right now, and just to keep keep their spirits up. Yeah. And the mind.
You're right, man. A lot of people can't handle that isolation or not interacting with people like they used to, especially throughout this whole pandemic.
True. They can't, and just being able to navigate the anxiety, the stress. I'm sure it's a lot of players that are dealing with that because, it's this, with dealing with this COVID, you have family pressure. You have pressure with performing, and on top of having to deal with this virus, it's a lot to deal with, and people understand, fans understand that players deal with a lot. They deal with more than you think. It's not just to go out and just have fun and play and make money. It's a lot of pressure involved with that. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job. Yeah. You got to always be on top of your game.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
No,
I was just kind of curious. Are you back in Alabama? I know you grew up in Tuskegee?
Yes, Tuskegee. I'm in Georgia right now, so I stay in Fairburn, Georgia.
Oh, Fairburn. Oh, yeah. I'm familiar. I lived in Atlanta for a while, man. So.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. I've been to Atlanta's nice. Yeah. So we just south, like 15, about 20 minutes south of downtown Atlanta.
As a former Saint living in Falcon country, how well does that go over?
It's a lot of trash talking. It's to be expected. But we have a strong fan base in Atlanta. So we really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a lot of Saints fan clubs. I've gotten involved with a couple of them, and we got a strong base down here. So they and that's kudos to the Who Dat Nation. But yeah, they go strong. But it's a lot of back and forth.
Hopefully on good point. Listen, and I just saw one of our viewers ask a question similar to what I was about to ask you. You were a key part of what was, in my opinion, the best defensive line in Saints history. But I'll tell you, last year's edition gave you guys a run for for their money. Do you think that New Orleans has the depth in place now to overcome the loss of Malcolm Brown, Sheldon Rankins, Trey Hendrickson? Or is that a big need that nobody is really talking a lot about?
I think it's a big need. They have some good depth, but they really need to fill those gaps because like I said, Malcolm Brown was a big gap. As far as holding down the middle, and then you got Trey Henderson. That he did a phenomenal job. And I really was excited about, to see him play, because he just came out of the block and like, who is this guy? And he performed well. Everything is, you got Cam, who's a star. You got, so, but he showed up well. I'm really happy for him that he got his day. I'm really happy for him. I'm always happy to see guys when they get that opportunity and they get the contract that aligns with how they play. So I'm happy for him. He have to feel, oh yeah. He got paid, Willie. He got paid. Yeah, I saw it. But they have to fill those gaps. They really have to fill those gaps.
Now listen, you excelled at both defensive tackle and defensive end. Which of the two positions, in your opinion, is more important to have solid depth?
Have solid depth. They both. I would say defensive tackle, without a doubt, because at D tackle is more. You incur more injury, prone to more injury because it's more banging in that middle. So you getting hit by the center, by the guard, constantly, double teams constantly. So it's important to have depth more than ever in the middle. And Sheldon's done a great job. But that's the most important area, I think, is the D tackle. And I play both D tackle and DN with the Saints, but the middle is the most.
Which did you prefer? Which did you like better? Did you like inside or did you like along the edge?
Well, to be honest with you, being on the edge, that's you get more freedom. It's the sexy position, but I like that more. But I like D tackle too. But like you said, it's a workman's, it's a worker's position, because you picking up your shovel, you getting to work, because it's you doing the dirty work. It's constant banging. Yeah, you don't have that freedom of space as much, but you constantly have to get after it. You have to make some sacrifices at time, just so the linebackers can do what they need to do, and hold up double teams. But those are the real workhorses in definitely the whole line, but especially in the middle.
Your interior guys don't get enough love, man. Interior guys for the offensive line as well. Defensive line, you guys, like you said, you're banging with guys with 300 pounds sometimes, putting their bodies on you, and you fighting hard. Now you went to Auburn, right?
Yes.
So when you were there, I know the War Eagles were still popular, still fighting Alabama and those guys during those times. Right now, looking at the SEC and looking at the talent that's coming out of the SEC, do you see any good defensive linemen that we should be noting on, or have you paid attention to any of those guys?
Not a whole lot. Really looked at it. I think there's a guy out of Alabama that's really touted. I haven't really looked at a whole lot of them lately, as far as coming out of the SEC.
Okay.
I know there's some talented guys, though. I know because the most talented guys in the D line come from the SEC. Because it's a hard conference. So
and I was going to ask you, do you feel like that prepared you for the battles of professional football a little bit better, coming out as such a tough conference? I mean, week in and week out, you guys were fighting wars in the SEC. Did that prepare you better for NFL life?
Oh yes, definitely. That definitely prepared me. And I had some extra work playing in Canadian Football League too. But really, that foundation was at Auburn, because we had some excellent D-line coaches, coordinators, and we that was some real hard-nosed play in the middle with the SEC football, because you got some strong guys. they're almost semi-pro size, in college, in the SEC. So you get prepared. Yes.
All right. Let's take a couple of these questions. Brian looks like he had a couple of questions, and Robert had a question as well. Willie, do you see a defensive lineman in the draft that's realistic pick for the Saints? We kind of touched on that just briefly. Let's say, have you ever thought about going into coaching?
I have. I thought about that, early on in my career, but talking to some of my friends that were coaches, and the demand and the schedule and what I'm doing right now, it just didn't work, and that wasn't my thing, because when you're in the coaching, that's pretty much all you do. You have to devote your full time to coaching, and so with everything else that I'm doing, it didn't that wasn't my lane. So but I mean, I love working with the kids and training the guys, the high school, the college guys, even some pro guys, to help them, improve their performance, to help them get to the next level. So I love that more than anything.
Cool.
And,
Brian also asked you who was your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate. Let me think about this. Oh,
you're on the line there, Willie.
Yeah, I know. On the spot, they get some guys like, man, okay, okay. I would say that I respected the most, that came to work every day and perform. I say it was Leroy Glover, without a doubt. Leroy Glover. That guy, he was the model for me on how you prepared day in, day out, not only on the field but off the field as well. And the way he took care of himself, the way he approached the game, the way he worked before and after practice, that's who I admired playing with, and just seeing how he did things. So yeah, definitely.
What about Charles Grant?
Oh, yeah, Charles was a good teammate too. Yeah, Charles definitely. He was just a talented guy. Charles was he was like a freak of nature. I mean, he broke Herschel Walker's record in yards in high school. He's a defensive end.
I remember that.
And this guy's like, he's like what, 6'4", 280,
6'5", right?
Yeah, 4'6", So he was just, I mean, with that type of athletic ability, a lot of things came natural. And then I saw Charles' progression as he grew with the Saints, and he became more mature, and he approached the game differently, and it made him a better player. So, but he was
the clown of your group.
Who was the clown?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because there was a couple of them, so I'm trying to figure out which one. You had guys that were really, really clown. I mean, like Joe Horn was funny. You got without a doubt. But you say across the let me see, the D line, Norman Hand, he would be kind of funny. I don't know. We had a couple, comical guys that really just love to joke and have fun and stuff. So I can't really. It's hard to really pinpoint. Oh, Hollis, yes. Somebody mentioned Hollis. Oh yeah, Hollis was. He was one of the. I would say he was one of the top ones. Hollis always clown. He had a good time. He always joked. But I mean, when it came to play, he was about business. He was tough.
Yeah.
And but he was a lot of fun though. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had to pack lunch to deal with him, man.
Right?
Oh yeah, you had to pack a heavy lunch to deal with him. Yeah, he was a low 350 pounds, 330, 350, and strong. He was again like one of those guys, like like a freak of nature, but and to have the power that he had and the quickness, he was something special.
Now, a couple minutes ago, you mentioned when you were talking about that you loved the concept of coaching, but it wouldn't have really fit into your schedule. I wanted to ask you, when you first stepped away from the game of football, and your last NFL season was 2006, how difficult was the adjustment initially for you, or did you transition pretty well into what you're doing now?
No, I have to. just really be candid about it, Rob. It was rough. I had a rough time. I went through a period of depression, near suicide, for like the first year after retiring, because I didn't know who I identify myself, as New Orleans Saints football player, but like, who am I now? That's all. I felt like I lost my identity. And then, when I, tried to call, like, like some of the same connections I had wasn't there anymore. So I really went through a rough time. And, but thank God I was, certain things that I learned to help me to get out of that tough situation but it was rough though. I really went through a period of depression.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that a lot. My cousin, when he lost playing the game, he said he took up, comfort food for him became his big old thing, and he gained a whole lot of weight. He got over 300 pounds, man. And he said, man, I can't. One day he had to look at himself and say, I can't do this anymore. And he had to refocus his mind and get back into being like a player. So he got that workout on, and he lost over 100 pounds doing so. And, he got a lot better. But the thing is, you look at how Drew Brees, after 20 years, is retiring. What does he do now? Right? I mean,
yeah.
He could do so much. He has his foundation. He has guest appearances here and there, but it's got to be weighing on a guy like him, a competitor. And most of you guys that's what you guys are. How do you deal with that? Do you get counseling? Do you go talk to somebody? A lot of guys don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is, a lot of guys, they just need to understand there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling, to even just seeking out a coach, life coach, or someone that can help them, transitional coach to help them to transition through that. Matter of fact, I'm working on some programs now to help guys do just that, to transition better, transition, through the game. To retirement and from injury or whatever. So it's important though, guys just have to be willing to really reach out when they really need help, because it's hard. And I'd say even with Drew and everything that he has, and I'm sure he's prepared, with him being such a competitor, and playing with him and seeing how he approached the game. I know it's hard for him, because for guys like him, it's every day. For us, it's always a routine. Mm-hmm. And I saw how he worked, he leave when the coaches leave, breaking down, studying film. So it's just, it might be good for him to talk to somebody to just kind of make it easier with the transition, because mentally is where it's at. It's not so much about the money and things other things that you can do, that you need to do. You don't have anything to do. He's got plenty of things to do and plenty of money, but it's just like you said, the competitor. It's the mental aspect, the emotional aspect of it. You want to be around your teammates. You want to be around other guys, because you're used to that routine, everyday routine. So
now, you had said the first year in particular after retirement for you was the roughest. What helped you really turn the corner? Really get over that hump.
Well, I know I talked to somebody, helped me through, and then more. Also, I kind of got outside of myself. I worked with my foundation. Did the camps and did different events, working with the kids. And it kind of helped me to get outside of how I was feeling about who I was. And I was able to gradually move into a new identity, you know, as a speaker, as a coach, as, you know, helping kids and helping people to get through adversity, to build more resilience in their lives. So that really was the main thing for me. Just really having to focus on something else, get outside of myself, and to really talk to somebody about what I was going through. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know? Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, and listen, hey, like you mentioned a minute ago, you know Drew, you were there when he first got to New Orleans, when he and Coach Payton first got to New Orleans. Give us what your first impressions were of each, and did you recognize that there was something special there right away?
Oh yes, definitely. My take with I'll take specifically with Coach Payton, right? We had a preseason game. I forgot who we played, but it was in Mississippi, and we were put up in the Clarion Hotel, and so Coach Payton walked in. I was in the lobby, and I saw Coach Payton walk in. He looked around, and he was livid. He was like, "Oh no, like no." He said, "We're not gonna stay." He said, "Players are not supposed to be staying in here." Because he's coming from New York, so he's like used to everything being first class. So it's like, oh no. So after that, he everything changed as he had a talk with Mr. Benson and General Manager Mickey Loomis, and it's like, look here, if you want these guys to play first class, you got to treat them first class all the way. So It just changed the mindset, you know. And so guys, and then he brought in, you know, Drew and other guys who carried, you know, Reggie Bush, other guys that carried that winning mindset, that first class championship mindset. And so I saw that with Drew, like he was all about you know, whatever it takes to be the best. You know, he worked hard, and I like that about him. Like he treated himself like any other guy. You know, he didn't think of himself like I'm better than you and I'm higher than you. He's like, hey man, he'll talk to anybody, but he worked. Like after practice, he get with the receivers. Look, let's work on routes. Then he's still there and he's taking care of his body. Then he's watching film. You know, and I admire that most about him is that he worked hard. I never seen, like, as far as a quarterback work as hard as he worked, and that's why, you know, he's one of the greatest. But he put the time in, like, and he's just a genuine guy. You know, he's a genuine guy. He'll talk to anybody. You know, he's that type of guy. You know, you know. So just a real class act. Yeah. So I knew there was something real special about him because of the way he worked. I recognized that.
Yeah. We're looking at some of these names coming in. Ashley Ambrose, Tabucky Jones, Jay Bellamy, Brady Jackson, Leroy Glover, Sammy Knight.
Yeah. Those some great guys. Yeah. Great guys to play with.
Darren Howard. I hadn't heard that name in a long time.
Oh,
Darren was Darren one of the first franchise guys, or was that Charles Grant?
No, it was Darren.
It was Darren, right? Yeah.
Darren was the first franchise. Yes, yep. And Darren was too. He was a freak of nature. Athletically, he was just like we saw some things that Darren did. It was like how did he do that? You know, it's just yeah, he was special. He was special.
Hey, one of the guys wants to know, how was it playing for Jim Hazlett?
It was good. It was real good. Like Coach Hazlett was a really good coach. You know, he was just he was to say, you know, it was a rough time because we went through, you know, we went through Hurricane Katrina, and it was rough. It was rough dealing with that, but he was a really good coach. He was a really good coach. And so, like I said, when and he was really personable too. But I think when Coach Payton came in, he just brought in a whole different mindset because he was used to it being all about, I'm coming in, I'm about, winning a championship, everything. He came in with really a first class mindset. Like, no, we're gonna do everything at the highest. So from every aspect of it, this is how we're gonna handle things. So I expect you guys to handle yourselves in a certain way. And he didn't distinguish one from the other. Like, I don't care who you are, what kind of stars you got are your name. I'm gonna hold you accountable like I hold the free agent accountable. I'm gonna hold you accountable just the same. So you're gonna get the same type of punishment if you don't abide by the rule. And all you can do is respect that. Yeah. I mean, I really respected that because you knew where he stood no matter what. He joked and would make just have jokes and like, you got enough gas in the tank, really, like, gas in the tank. But you knew where he stood. You know where Coach Payton stands, and that's what I like the most about it.
And that, even though he's a young guy at the time and first time head coach, that drew your respect and the respect of your teammates pretty quickly.
Oh yes, yeah, definitely, because he established, early on, he established how he handled, he was going to handle situations and who he was, and he didn't back down. And that's what I liked about him. Like, he was no nonsense. Like, I don't care. Like, if some guys that, more star athletes, star players are used, kind of at times, they get, leniency or something, get, over if they, they do certain things or whatever, if they didn't, abide by it. But Coach Payton, he didn't care. Like, no matter what, you break the rules, these are the consequences. So the guys just couldn't, they couldn't do anything but respect it. And it made guys level up in their play because he challenged them. He's like, look, I don't care if you can do better. You're a star player, but you can do even better. I want to see you show up to work. So
that's awesome.
It is. It is. What were some of your best memories as a New Orleans Saints player, on or off the field? Your choice.
I would say my greatest memory was coming back to the Superdome after Katrina. That first game back when we played the Falcons and we shut them out. And man, that feeling was amazing. And seeing, on the screens and just the fans and the things that happened with Hurricane Katrina, and that's one of the greatest feelings of my career playing for the Saints, because I felt like, I had me and my other teammates, we had the city on our back. Mm-hmm. So we were playing for that mother of those kids that didn't know where their loved ones were because they were displaced during Katrina, and they lost everything. So it was an emotional time, that was, and to be able to take the team during that time, the furthest that we've ever gone to the NFC Championship, that was special. That was a special year.
Yeah. We talked to Jim Mora Jr. the other week, and he said just going into the stadium and about to get onto the field, listening to U2 singing and Green Day singing "The Saints Are Coming," he's like, damn, I knew we were we were going to probably lose this game. You know, you just had that feeling, right? And yeah, but I mean, that whole game, even when you look at it, the replays, and I remember that game just like it's yesterday. It just, like you say, it gave you goosebumps. It made you feel so much pride in how the team performed, you know, as a whole. That you know, from Steve Gleason blocking the punt to the, you know, to you guys just like you shutting down Michael Vick and those guys most of the game. It was just a special evening, man. Thank you for it. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Like you said, that was, you know, right before the game to look up at the teleprompter and seeing the devastation, New Orleans. Man, you know, me and, you know, other guys, we were just looking at it and just shaking. We crying and you know, tears in my eyes, and we shaking. We like, woo, like like they're not gonna get nothing today. Like we taking care of business. Like we were revved up. Like they're not getting anything. They're gonna get shut out today no matter what. Like that feeling was there. Like, no, we doing this for New Orleans. Like for the fans. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, you guys did, man.
Yeah.
And like Kyle said, you know, thank you so much for that. But listen, you were part of that 2005 team. Everybody likes to talk about, and for a good reason, everybody likes to talk about the rebirth and the coming back with such a vengeance that you guys did. But you know, being on the 2005 team, did you feel like you had the hopes and of the city, as well as certainly the franchise, on your back? How tough was that year for you personally as well as professionally?
Oh man, yeah, Bob. It was tough. Man, it was really tough because I mean I felt like I had, you know, the team on my back, and the other, you know, my teammates as well. But the thing is that the conditions, you know, we only had 3 home games.
Right.
And we didn't feel like it was fair. The commissioner was Paul Tagliabue at that time to not give us any more than 3 home games. And so that was rough. And then we were playing, you know, in different, different conditions. We were playing at the LSU field, and you know, at times, you know, the field wasn't the best, but it was rough. And I mean playing in the Alamo Dome down in San Antonio. Yes, for those 3 games. And it was like, man, we only, you know, just 3 home games. And you're traveling, you know, all you know, those other times, and having to make adjustments and playing other different places. It was rough. You had guys that, you know, they walked out. You had guys that, you know, just frustrated about the whole situation. So
I remember when you guys had to play New York, and it was a home game for the Saints, and Tagliabue made the decision of putting the game in New York. A home game for the Saints in New York.
I remember that. Yep.
That didn't sit well with a lot of you guys, I know.
It didn't, man. We were mad. We were livid about that. We were like, "What? This supposed to be a home game. Why are we going to New York?"
Exactly.
Like, come on, man. We're going to East Rutherford. Come on. So, yeah, we didn't feel like we were really being, you know, taken care of by the league. So that we kind of felt like we were outcasts in the situation. So it was rough. It was rough.
Well, I know when you guys played in the Alamo Dome, I was there for those games, and unfortunately, I remember, Bob, if you remember this, man, you guys were leading at halftime. Well, going into halftime, you would have been leading, and the Saints were kicking a field goal, blocked the field goal. Atlanta runs it in for the touchdown. And I just remember us as the fans, and we were just like sitting there with like, in disbelief what was happening, and then things just went south from there. It was tough for you guys, and Aaron Brooks, he mentioned how difficult it was, and he put himself on the line by doing so, and I wouldn't say called out ownership, but he did enlighten people to what he thought the ownership should do, right? Do you believe he was unfairly treated as a result of those statements he made?
I think so, because like I said, he was, Aaron was frustrated just like the rest of us, and with him being the quarterback and the leader of the team, he really, and he was a passionate guy, he was a passionate player. So I think it was unfair to him. They had to understand, like, we were dealing with some adverse situations, for an NFL team. It was some adverse situations. And so we just we didn't, like I said, we didn't feel like the league treated us fairly. And I know, with the ownership, it's easy to point blame and see, like, they need to step up to talk to the commissioner of the league to make the changes. But it's just, maybe it's not always that easy. I don't know. I mean, the conditions, I think, could have been better. I think they could have been better, but
Yeah, well, it's a unique situation. People were trying to make the best out of everything, and I know there were some missteps here and there, but you look at it as everything, as how the team rebounded, how the ownership rebounded. It was great that over the past 15 seasons, the Saints put a winning product. Not all seasons, but they did put a winning product out most of the seasons. And me, growing up in New Orleans, we didn't see that before Sean Payton got there. We saw, a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
We're losing again.
that was frustrating, too.
Should we bring the bags out? That's what you used to get, man. So
yeah. And the thing too, Kyle, is that before Coach Payton got there, I think it was he, like I said, he brought that different mindset. It was the guys, it was that whole feeling of just feeling like you're in the best of situations, as opposed to other NFL clubs, because guys that came from other NFL clubs are like, man, like y'all don't have this, like we got that, or we got better situation. I think our locker room looks better than this, and we got this. Y'all don't have that. So, they, and they guys feel like that. They're like, the play sometimes is going to exhibit that. It's just like Deion Sanders would say, if you
look good,
look good, I play good. I play good, exactly. So yeah, I mean, how guys, the surroundings that guys are in, it makes a tremendous difference. The environment, like if you're going to get a first class product, if you feel like you're being treated first class, you feel like you're in a first class situation, then you're going to play. A lot of times you'll play to that standard,
right?
And so because it's the mindset.
It is true. That is true, man.
I mean, it affects it. I mean, it's more involved, but it's the mindset. So
yeah, don't let Bob and those guys hear too much of that, because then I'm gonna have to raise salaries and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I got my stuff hanging back here with Scotch tape. I can't afford thumbtacks,
Hey, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Hey, a question came in. Let's see. Let's go to Donald's. Then we're gonna talk about Roberts. Bob, you could do that one. But Donald, he wanted to know about the late Tom Benson and any thoughts that you had on him.
Well, I thought Mr. Benson he was a great owner. You know, I think early on, there were, I guess, as far as there were some things that, you know, as far as the money that was put out, and I didn't say, you know, with the salary caps and all that, but the money was put out as far as, you know, facilities and everything. I think, you know, it, you know, it could have been a little different, a little better, but you know, he was a very personable owner. You could talk to him. You know, he had a lot of wisdom, and you know, he looked out for guys. You know, he was a really good owner. He really was. I know times in situations, you know, he was there, so he was a good owner. You know, and I think, like I said, it's just to see how he was open to changing his mindset about different things made a huge difference, especially with, you know, paying, you know, like, you know, taking care of certain guys so that, you know, we're able to keep them and move forward and do great things as far as a team. So, yeah.
Good.
Willie, we have a question from Robert Jackson. He wants to know what obviously the penalties for this came a few years after you had left New Orleans, but Robert is curious what your thoughts were when the Saints got punished for the Bountygate fiasco. You know, Commissioner Goodell's witch hunt, and I don't mince words when it comes to that man. But yeah, how did you feel that the league office treated you know, the Saints and the so-called bounty, and you know, I'll ask you because you're a former player. Do teams do that kind of thing on a regular basis?
Well, Bob, no. It's you know, like I said, we be in the locker room and we have fun. We're not making any serious wages on getting, you know, trying to hurt other players. Because we understand, like, a lot of those guys are guys that we're friends with in the off season, guys that we know of, even on a personal basis. So, and we understand as being players, we're not trying to hurt anybody to the point that we're trying to end their career, because we don't want anybody to end our career. You know, we just, you know, just kind of ding them around, get them hurt, but it's not to the point of trying to make some, you know, big wagers on putting money in probably big wages to try to take guys out. I think it was really blown out of proportion. Now I think we really it was really, you know, kind of really treated unfairly concerning the situation. I don't know how it got out to that point, because usually, you know, whatever is in the locker room, you know, stays in the locker room. Mm-hmm. But it's always an innocent type of, you know, we have fun. It's just an innocent type of situation. It's nothing that goes that far.
Well, Willie, what it was is a trainer or somebody who got fired and probably was on the chopping block anyway, recorded these guys and then decided to out everybody, you know? So it was unfortunate. And you do know this. I've been in this situation. Hey, man, Kyle, we're going to do X, Y, Z. I got 5 on it. You know? All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, it's just, we just having a good time. But like you say, you guys are professionals. It just, I found it difficult to believe as a professional against another professional. Like you say, you want to see somebody career be injured and have a career-ending injury as a result of what, a few $1,000 or $100, something to that nature. You know, it's one of those things where the bean counters they overblew situation, and they've got to be the ones. You know, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, Z. Look, you guys are not doing what we're talking about here. This is football. Don't y'all know how to play it? Yeah, we play. You guys are making the money off it. We're playing it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
Now, and obviously, like I said, I don't mince words about the current commissioner. So yeah, it's probably best for us all to move on to another subject. Guys, it's been a long time since the New Orleans Saints have had a legitimate quarterback competition for the starting job. You, Willie, were on the last New Orleans Saints team that did have one between, you already talked about Aaron Brooks and Jeff Blake. Now, I kind of remember reports at the time saying, that the locker room was a little bit divided between Jeff and Aaron. Of course, Aaron ended up getting the starting job, playing so well at the tail end of 2000. Is there any truth to the theory that a quarterback controversy can indeed divide the team? And how does it affect you as a defensive player?
Well, I don't think that it should. That's very rare where it would divide a team, because at the end of the day, we're all in it to win. So a lot of times guys will humble themselves, like, okay, well, you won a starting job, and I'll play my role, I'll play my position, and just leave it like that. We're professionals, so most guys are handling it in a professional way, but it's very seldom that controversy would divide players. And for me as a teammate, I want the guy that's going to perform the best out there, and that's regardless. If I'm not performing, at the best, I don't want to be out there, because I want to always make sure that I'm doing my job and performing the way I should perform, because at the end of the day, we're trying to win, and that's always the main goal, is winning. So guys, have to, put their egos aside and do what's in the, betterment of the team, regardless. That's it.
Good stuff. All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about because I remember you had Aaron Brooks, Ty Bowman situation at the end of Brooks's career. I recall when he went on TV, said, "Hey, that was the last game you saw me play." I think it was the LSU Stadium game after you guys played Chicago, right? Those are difficult games to handle, Now the New Orleans Saints have Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and Sean Payton has made it very clear that there's going to be a quarterback competition. Now, do those type of competitions, other than what Bob was referring to, where it divides a team, could a competition like this galvanize a team and bring you guys together?
Yes, it can. It can. It could. It definitely bring us together, because the competition is bringing out the best in both players, and when it comes down to it, it's especially with those two quarterbacks. During the game, they're both going to get playing time. How Coach Payton's going to do it. So he might mix it up because of the athletic, because there's a lot that you can do with Taysom, as far as running different plays. So I'm sure he's going to mix it up, but it really just galvanizes and bring the team closer together, because it's bringing out the best of both players, and those guys are professionals, and so they're going to. Like I said, they're going to, if they don't win, if one doesn't win the starting position, he's going to play his position. Mm-hmm. And when it's time for for free agency, it'll be another, maybe if he doesn't win the starting job after a couple of years, maybe put an opportunity to be a starting quarterback, with another team. And that's what goes through a player's mind, because they want to just make sure that we win. We win games, because that's going to better his position if we're winning, because you're on a winning team, and you're coming in, you're getting playing times, but you still you're still in that position, because most teams don't want to, it's hard, really don't want to get too many players from losing teams. So when you're in that position, it betters your opportunity as well. So I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch, and I think it should galvanize the team together, and just be just fun competition.
Cool.
Based off what you've seen, and obviously we're all sitting in the same catbird seat, but based off of what you've seen from Jameis and from Taysom, give us a gut feeling on who do you think is going to end up with the starting job.
Oh man. Man, Bobby put in position. Okay. Oh man, come on, man. I don't know. I would say, I don't know how I would have touched that. I would say, based on the and I know Taysom has done a great job. He's definitely a good quarterback. Based on the history of as far as Jameis, and I know he just had some. I think he had some setbacks, issues with his eyesight when he was playing for Tampa, starting quarterback for Tampa. But he's really done a whole lot as far as the numbers, even all the way back from college. And I think he just had some minor setbacks, but he was set to be one of the top quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. He was looked upon to probably be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Projected. As he matured, and I think Coach Payton sees in him. He probably saw in him even when he was probably in college, that he has that potential. A lot of times just being on the right team makes a huge difference. Yeah. And people realize that, man, environment makes a huge difference with a player. So, maybe, the Saints is the right environment for him to shine, for him to blossom. Yeah. And he's definitely under the right coach. So
good point.
The right system, yeah.
Good point. And you're not just saying that because he's another Alabama boy, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm just asking, man. I gotta ask these things.
No. I followed his career, from Florida State all the way through. And I just really admired him as a player, as a competitor, and the numbers he put up. And I don't know, I was just curious, like, man, what happened, at Tampa? But I understand, he had certain situations, and like I said, it might not have been the right fit for him, the right environment.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It also helps the season after you get sacked and running for your life. They shore up that offensive line, and the guy comes in and wins a championship with a couple more weapons here, and I'm so sick of that. I've heard the 30 interceptions is a lame excuse to say that Jameis could not function well if they would have given him better protection. I'm sorry. I think any quarterback in his right mind does not want to get sacked.
Right.
Nobody like a guy like you in your size, right, Willie? I mean, you've got to tell us, man. Have you ever hit a quarterback so hard, and when you've fallen down on the guy, that guy just tells you something like, not get off me, like, damn, man, why you had to do that to me, or something like that? Did anything like that ever happen in your career?
Yes. I'm trying to think which quarterback it was. I know. No, it wasn't Kurt. I gave him a concussion. But I hit Kurt Warner. But no, it would be who would I say? A man that
So what did he say? I mean,
well, Green Bay. He wasn't with Green Bay. He would
was it
but he would
Favre?
talk a lot of smack though. Brett, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Brett. Yeah, I remember I hit Brett hard, and he was like, "Man, really?" But he always talked back, and he was like, "All right, man, all right." He's like, "Okay, I see you come. I see how you bringing it to me. Like, that's all you got." He would talk junk. He was fun though. He was fun to play with. I'm like, man, this dude here. But yeah, I would say because a lot of quarterbacks they weren't that vocal. They get hit and they're not saying anything. They just like, okay, let me I give it. They're not trying to really piss off the D line like that as much.
Right.
Exactly. So they just staying focused. But Brett definitely. He's gonna talk back. He's gonna let you know how he feels. And because I hit him a certain way. Yeah, he let me know. But then he was talking junk, for the remainder of the game. So yeah, I love playing against him.
We just had a comment. I don't know if you saw it. I had to relay it to you. Someone said, Rankin's who? So apparently they just thought that Sheldon was borrowing the number 98 from you, the real 98.
No.
Again, you were one of my favorite players to watch on one of my favorite Saints teams to watch, especially pre-Sean Payton. And I know I speak for a lot of Who Dat Nation. When I say thank you for all your contributions. We miss you on the football field, but yeah, you gave us some great memories.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. I mean,
Willie,
I enjoy it.
Has the team ever reached out to you guys? Some of the older players like you and Leroy and those guys, and say, hey, come in, talk to these guys, or come in as alumni and do something with the team or anything to that nature?
No, I mean not outside of the alumni events. Not that I know of. I haven't been approached not outside the alumni events, but I would love to come in and talk to the guys. I would definitely love to do that. So maybe that's something that it can really it's possible to really entertain because I think it really will help the guys. Will benefit them because I know it did when I was playing. You had certain guys, from the past that came in, and just to get their perspective, their experience, and especially with the the younger guys, it makes a huge difference.
Good.
So,
yeah, I appreciate you. I know we just looked up at the clock, and I know we ran a little over what I promised you. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the extra time. We got to do this more often, sir. You're always a pleasure to talk to. Tell our fans again how they can find you, your foundation, and your motivational videos.
Okay, well, motivational videos. You can find me on Willie Whitehead Jr. At Willie Whitehead Jr. Radical Expansion is my YouTube channel. I have weekly videos, inspiration. To help, just to help you take your life to a higher level, mind, body, and spirit. And then also, you can check me out on Instagram at Willie Whitehead Jr. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Willie Whitehead Jr. And I have the Willie Whitehead Foundation, which working with at-risk youth and to help them to help change their lives, really take them to a higher level. So you can follow me on that at wwf.org. with Willie Whitehead Foundation. And my website is getting rebranded, so that'll be coming out.
Can people donate to your foundation as well?
Yes. They can go on the site and make a donation. We have a lot that we're working on now, programs and events, for the at-risk youth, inner city youth. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I did a lot when I was in New Orleans, and we would bus kids from New Orleans, and we worked with kids in Atlanta, Alabama, and New Orleans. And we would, hold retreats. We would have different entrepreneurs that come in to talk to these kids. And a lot of these kids, they hadn't had those experiences, especially coming from projects in New Orleans and going to the big city and, seeing different things and talking to these entrepreneurs that may have been in a similar situation, and now they own a Mercedes dealership, and they own different businesses, and just it really inspired them. So we want to definitely increase it and do more of that.
Awesome. One last question from Robert. He wanted to know, if you were playing today, can you dominate?
Oh, without a doubt. Yes.
That's what I want to hear.
But I don't know if I can give you a play right now.
So, look, when you get the website rebranded, let us know so we can be able to promote it, bring it up there. Anything you need from Bob and I, always, you're family now, so you can't get rid of us. We're like some bed bugs. You can't get rid of us. We're gonna irritate you, bite you, write you. So we really do appreciate you spending some time. Okay, one guy say go teach somebody some techniques. I'm not gonna say that right now, but anyway, we'll talk about that later. It's getting raw. It's getting raw. It's getting late, Willie. It's getting late. They're getting raw. We'll talk about that later. But thank you, Gasson. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, all you guys who, Jerry and everybody else, you comments throughout this interview with Willie. This is Mr. Willie Whitehead Jr., and that's Mr. Bob Rose himself. Go to www.saints.media to be able to read up on all of New Orleans Saints news, and also follow us at Saints News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And, man, I really do appreciate it. And I think one thing I would like to say, we need to value more of guys like you who are doing a positive job, not only out in the world of sports, but in the neighborhoods and the communities with the young people.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, it was. You're right. So, I appreciate this opportunity, man, and I look forward to being on more with you guys. Kudos to you all, to you for doing a tremendous job and holding this platform. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Appreciate it. And guys, don't forget, go out and help Willie, help his foundation, and we will be there right there supporting you as well. I'm Kyle T. Mosley, Bob Rose, and Mr. Willie Whitehead Jr. Y'all take care. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Oh, and before I get off, let's pray for our Saints News intern. His name is Tristan. He's in ICU right now, guys. Pray for him so he can get better, recover. So let's keep Tristan in your prayers. I'm Kyle Mosley. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.